Oh yeah, we got a killer show coming up. We're starting with Karine, Jean-Pierre, the worst White House press secretary in history. The world's least articulate White House spokeswoman was brought in and had to give testimony about Biden's decline. Of course, they're going to get nothing from her. I don't know how they'd even understand her. If she did speak, they'd have to get out like an abacus and a translator and a cuneiform and a Rosetta Stone to translate. What language is that? Because she can't communicate. Welcome to In Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. We're going to do a lot more Charlie Kirk. We're going to hear from Ivanka Trump. Oh, I got a bunch of stuff. You guys know. It's bullet time. At the end of the day, it's a machine gun of news because I just try and wrap up all the stories before the night's done, before we head right into tomorrow, where I have to do a 3-mile run at my church. Shout out to the Quad Club, the people that watch 4 videos a day all the way through. You really keep the lights on. You guys are commenting. I'm blessed by you guys. Insanely so. I could go on and on about the stories I see, how some of you are starting to read the Bible more, go to church, rededicate your lives to Christ. You thank me for the work that I do. Even when people disagree with me, go, look, I disagreed. I dig you guys. I dig you guys. All right. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre. I do not dig this chick. This is a diversity hire, completely unqualified for her job.
How did the interview go? Did you see signs that President Biden's health was declining either mentally, psychologically, neurologically, or physically?
Yeah, like they're going to answer you. Like she's going to answer you to a journalist. This was the least transparent person in all of the Democrat Party's history. The one person that's supposed to communicate facts and truth is not going to answer you. She didn't answer under oath. She's not going to answer a journalist, but I love this poor journalist trying to get a question out of her. Did you have any clue of his decline? In other words, do you have a pulse? Do you have 2 brain cells to rub together? Did you see what every other American saw unless they were blinded by the Democrat Party?
Wait, why did you tell the committee? Do you regret saying that President Biden would not pardon his son Hunter and backtracking on that?
Karine, do you regret saying he wasn't on any medication after the debate?
Did you know that the president had cancer while he was still in office?
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, that she's really engaging. They put her in a car, drive her away. Run! It's a question, and they want the truth. Karine Jean-Pierre knows what happens when they have a question and they want the truth. She goes, "You run, close and lock the door. They need a truthful answer. Run, Karine." Speaking of truthful answers, ooh, sorry to do this to you guys. I thought you had not heard enough from this lady.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous, but we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
Yeah, also incoherent. I know that you guys haven't heard enough from a pterodactyl wing stretched over a skeleton, speaking gibberish. I don't even know what that answer. You can't even decipher it. So what I do with all my Democrat friends, I got a couple of Democrat friends. It's very hard to listen to a Democrat friend. They're so self-delusional. I actually feel sorry for them. And their punishment, by the way, is to walk around in their own head. I don't have to even try and make a Democrat's life more miserable. There's no revenge in it. You know, just letting them exist, they're miserable. They hate themselves and they live in a giant psychotic lie. I don't need to make their misery worse. This lady, this gelatinous, shimmering, shambling ghoul, what's left of her, you know, these are the people that ran a court case against Trump saying he incited people to violence, that he incited people to an insurrection. That is, his words were so magical that it caused other people to act like a puppet under his control. And now all the Democrats go, hey, all this Democrat hateful rhetoric and calling people Nazis and totalitarians and democracies on the ballot and calling them to hate and to violence and say this is war and all this. They go, hey, words don't cause anything, you know. But if Trump says go walk to the Capitol and peacefully protest, that's an incitement to violence. It's incitement. Raskin argued it. Pelosi argued it. Adam Schiff argued it. And now suddenly words have no power. When it's the entire Democrat Party shrieking, you have to do something about Donald Trump. You have to kill someone. And then they kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's a Nazi. And then suddenly they go, words, pick a standard. I don't care which standard you pick. Okay. Here's the two standards. Either you have to be responsible for what you say, including misinformation, lies, no matter which side says it. You go to prison. They thought that it would be that we would be going to prison for misinformation. No, you guys did more misinformation on COVID, Russia hoax, or whatever. So again, pick a standard. Do we go to prison for our words, for inciting violence, for telling people, go get that guy? He's a Nazi. You know what we do with Nazis, okay? If that's true, then if someone on the right says, guys, go act in violence, and someone else goes and hits someone, okay, you can charge that guy for incitement. But this whole, it's only bad when Trump does it, but when we do it, and Charlie Kirk is dead, we can't control what people do based on their words. You got to pick a lane. The Democrats, they do not believe in values. They do not believe in transcendent truth. That is a truth that is true for them as much as it's true for me. They believe all truth is personalized and relative. In other words, it doesn't exist. They only believe in pragmatism, which is ends justify the means. That is whatever keeps us in power or brings us more power is what we say, because we know that we're right. They don't believe in any truth outside of that. Whatever gives us power or keeps us in power is all that we believe is what they say.
Other Democrats are quickly calling for gun control before we have the full picture of the alleged.
And gun control. It's the left that keeps shooting people. The left that does firearms in Chicago, shooting each other. In Chicago, black on black crime, hand crimes. Handguns. They do not intend to stop that gun. They want to stop legal gun ownership. They love the illegal ones. It's a ridiculous argument. Blame the tool. Blame the tool. It's so stupid. Obviously, after that that Ukrainian chick just got stabbed by that black homeless guy. Did they call for knife control? Did they start gathering up knives and demanding we turn them in? Did they call for knife control? That guy did not use a gun. He used a knife. And if he didn't have a knife, he'd use a hammer. We're going to do hammer control. Democrats just think tools jump off the shelf and start attacking people. They think guns just jump off and start shooting people. Cain killed Abel with a stone. He took a stone over his head. You make stones illegal? Everyone you know drives a 2,000-pound bullet. A car is a 2,000-pound bullet. You're telling me you can't drive that over a crowded sidewalk? Car control. These people, their arguments are insane.
Assassin. John?
All right. Mike Emanuel for us. Mike, as always.
Thanks, Mike Emanuel. Okay, let's move on. Look at this. This is from the article remember, the Democrats are saying the shooter had no ties. He had no political ideology. He was probably, in fact, the people on Facebook, my Democrat friends are all going, he was probably radicalized by the right. He was probably radicalized by his dad because his dad was a cop and they shot lots of guns. No, he was radicalized by the left, especially when he went to college, and Discord, the internet. A high school friend of Charlie Kirk's suspected killer, Tyler Robinson, said that Tyler Robinson was pretty left on everything. So this is the political ideology the Democrats do not want you to know, that Tyler Robinson was pretty left on everything. I got to warn everybody, this does not make all leftists shooters. Okay, there's only one shooter this week. There's millions of leftists. But in general, which side is saying get them? It's the left, not the right. I'll show you what the right does. The right, we have prayer vigils. The left, they burn stuff down. He's pretty left on everything and was the only member of his family that was really leftist, according to The Guardian. The rest of his family was pretty hardcore Republican, the friend said. Yeah, that's how you know, because they owned guns and they didn't shoot people because they were Republicans. The alleged assassin became more extreme in his political views and would always be ranting and arguing about them. There's no fault in that, in arguing about political views. Then The Guardian says the friends said that they played video games together a lot in high school and noted that the bullet engraving with the arrows was a reference to Helldivers 2. There's arrows like up, down, right, down, down, which is a secret cheat code, which we mentioned earlier. He said that the arrows specifically were in reference to calling in a big bomb that exists in the game called the 500-kilogram bomb. When the friend said that, saw the news on Friday, he said he was shocked. I knew Robinson had strong political views, but I never thought it would even go near that far. It's hard to imagine because there's no way you can predict this. There's no way you can predict this stuff, guys. Going that far? No way. Now, here's a kid who's in Turning Point, good friend of Charlie's, who's going to say, we're going to continue. The Turning Point is going to continue as a movement.
How does Turning Point move on without Charlie Kirk?
Well, he really instilled upon us the values of a patriot, of being patriots, and we're going to continue carrying on those patriots. And he always repeat this adage. He would always tell us, late to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and organize. Work like hell and organize. These kids are going to keep going, guys. Charlie Kirk's movement, Trump has said they're going to continue. It's going to continue. You want to see some good news? Because the future is bright, guys. The future is revival, parenting, love, courage, and patriotism. Here's an example. This is King Randall. This is a guy that I follow, teaching his kids how to lay brick.
Get 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands, 2 hands. There you go. All right, drop some. Right there.
Good tap. There you go.
Oh, yeah, learning the brick.
Just like Tiger Woods, he wasn't no golf champion when he started. He had to start.
Right, you got to start.
Do you like Tiger Woods? When he started out, he wasn't a champion. He had to learn. That's good teaching. Great parents. These are great fathers who care. In this case, because they're Christians, here they are, also teaching their kids at a Bible study.
It says forgiving does not mean you don't remember it happened. It means you're no longer seeking revenge because it happened. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I got in trouble because y'all wanted revenge on somebody that did something to you.
Oh, teaching them. Don't get in trouble for revenge. How many of you, I want to talk to the atheists in my audience. Atheists, would you rather atheists who do not believe the Bible? These kids are in a Bible school, Bible teaching by their dad, this youth leader. Would you rather atheists, anti-Christian, people that say the Bible is false, would you rather walk down the street in the middle of the night and you have 6 of these black youths walking towards you at night? And you're alone and unarmed? Would you rather they were coming from a Bible study or learning about Darwin, Charles Darwin, and the Beagle, the ship, the Beagle, going out to the Galapagos Islands to learn about a false theory called evolution? Would you rather they come from a group that was learning about Darwin or reading the Bible? Oh no, Charlie Kirk, this is going big. This one is getting good. I make fun of the Brits a lot. I say that they're all inbred, jug-eared, like the king, horse-faced, receding hairline, and that we stole our country from them, thank God. But that's just making fun of them. They are always our siblings. The Brits, and there's a Turning Point, UK. The Brits are always our siblings. Over 1 million British citizens expected to flood London tomorrow for the biggest free speech festival. Guys, they're going to try to take free speech back. They need it. Here they are. Look at the beautiful British flags. Hardly any Palestinian flags, hardly any Muslim flags. Lots of British flags. Brits have had enough. But wait. There's more. They're always known as being more secularized than us. Well, there were chants in London. They had a vigil for Charlie Kirk in London, and people started saying, Christ is King. 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 Look at that crowd. Candlelight vigil. Guys, that's in secular London. Christ is King. Christ is King. Oh, yeah. God save the king. All hail the king. Not King Charles. Jesus is king. This one's great, too. We're going to go to the BBC. This lady just absolutely pummels the BBC.
And Amber, on the other side of things, though, we have heard some conservative commentators declaring war on the Democrats, even Congresswoman Nancy Mace saying the Democrats own this. The president himself talking about going after the radical left. We're in a very dangerous time, it feels.
We were in a dangerous time because of the Democrats. Remember the response. Okay, we praise God. When our guy, Charlie Kirk, dies, we are praying and singing hymns. Democrats, for Black Lives Matter, when George Floyd was killed, they burned, like 120 days of cities being burned to the ground.
Okay, so there's a big difference here between saying that you are going to seek accountability for rhetoric that has
But declaring
dehumanized
war
conservatives.
isn't, like using that
You need
word
to watch
war
you need to
is
watch
not
the
quite
full
the same as
context of what they
accountability, is it?
You need to watch the full context of what they said, because they made very clear that they were speaking about nonviolent action. And when the left continuously refers to President Trump and his supporters as Nazis, as Hitler, as fascists, it is no wonder that people do not see us as human, and they think that it's acceptable to lash out with violence. The idea of saying that someone who has conservative opinions is equivalent to someone who mass murdered Jews, what else are they expecting to happen?
Yeah. People started believing them. Wait, there's more. Here's a little Gutfeld here. Let's do this one.
He had the talent stack. No question. That office was for him. So the left created a moment that taking out Kirk was like taking out a baby Hitler 2.0. I've said this on the show over the years that when you brand someone a Nazi or a fascist, you put everything on the table to stop them. If you don't stop them, you are immoral. You have to do everything you can to stop a Nazi or Hitler or a fascist. Could have been any one of us, but I'll tell you, it never would have been Colbert or Don Lemon or Morning Joe, because again, they aren't called fascists or Nazis.
It's not the same thing as these other public figures. It won't be Stephen Colbert who gets shot. It's never them who get shot, okay? Because all of the public hasn't been worked against them and programmed against them. The left never has to worry. The right isn't going to shoot them. We don't call them Nazi. Here's Ivanka Trump.
It's unconscionable. I mean, what transpired and very personal. I've known Charlie for approaching a decade now. And he was a good man, highly principled, and he was a champion for debate and dialogue and free speech.
That's his legacy. Don't you want to be known for someone who champions debate, dialogue, and free speech? Talking. His legacy is talking. The Democrat Party's legacy is not talking. It's shrieking and violence and firing you if you disagree. Well, if you guys made it all the way to the end here, let me know. Shout out to the Quad Club. Will Turning Point USA continue without Charlie Kirk? Do you believe it's going to take off and go? I'm Doug in Exile. See you guys tomorrow.